Today in cloud gaming news, we're going to be going over 2 games arriving on Google Stadia later this week, GeForce Now expanding into a new region via a partner, and some rumors surrounding Xbox Gamepass and securing the next Battlefield day 1. All in all, it's pretty exciting stuff, so let's dive right into it, beginning with the 2 titles that will be arriving later this week on Stadia. First up, we have Floor Kids, and it arrives April 14th for $19.99. It's a one-of-a-kind breakdancing game featuring a unique trick-style rhythm gameplay. The game features music by Canadian DJ Kid Koala and hand-drawn animations by John John. You're going to have to adapt on the fly as the screaming crowd calls for new and more impressive moves. You'll be challenging rival dancers and unlocking an array of new songs and characters, each with their own special combos. As a personal side note, I'm actually quite interested to see how this game plays because it definitely seems like a more unique take within the rhythm game genre. But now it's time we move on to the second title of the week, and that's The Dark Side Detective: A Fumble in the Dark. This is a Stadia Makers title that will be launching April 15th for $11.69. This point-and-click adventure has you joining Detective McQueen to find your way through 6 chilling supernatural cases and puzzles within the city of Twin Lakes. This title picks right up after the original Dark Side Detective, a title that released last week on Stadia, and will continue the storyline from there. That being said, don't worry if you haven't played the original within the series, as there is a brief recap of all the events within this one, so you can pick up and go right off the get-go. Another thing worth noting is that this will be a day-and-date release alongside the Steam version of the game, and for those wondering what the game's all about, I haven't played it, but I have heard it is hilarious. So if the idea of a supernatural comedy-based point-and-click adventure game sounds good to you, well, this is right up your alley. As a quick heads up for those who come here for Stadia news, those 2 titles cover the latest This Week on Stadia blog post, which is why it hasn't been its own separate video, as it's kind of a small list. That being said, it's been an awfully busy few weeks on the Stadia side of things. They've been announcing game after game. It's about time they take a little bit of a chill, and hopefully next week we'll get back right into it. But now it's time we move on to GeForce Now news, and there's actually 2 stories worth talking about here. First up, we have GFN officially celebrating 10 million users on the service. That's an absolutely insane amount of users, and it's a very impressive number to hear. Now, we don't have any clarification on how many of those users are actually paying for GeForce Now membership, but it's still 10 million nonetheless. That's a big deal, not just for GeForce Now, but cloud gaming in general, because it shows that there is interest in its potential. Alongside this, another very interesting bit of news also got shown, and that's something called Bluefield. It's supposed to really accelerate and help the growth of GeForce Now cloud gaming. If you're wondering how, it's basically gonna offload some of the work and allow for higher quality of service, more concurrent users, and isolate and secure the infrastructure. Ideally, this should allow for more consistent performance on your end when you're playing through GeForce Now, something that I know a few users have been complaining about recently. It'll be super interesting to see what type of effect this sort of implementation ends up having on GFN. Now, the second bit of GeForce Now news worth sharing this week is that they are finally expanding to Latin America through a partner. That partner in question is ABYA. They've signed up to be a GFN Alliance partner to deliver GeForce Now to those within Latin America. This is a pretty big move because the Latin American region is pretty big and there are a lot of gamers within it, many of which have been on this channel before asking for cloud gaming and when it's going to arrive in their region. GeForce Now, being one of the biggest players to arrive in Latin America, is a good move. And believe me, it's a much better option than having to use a VPN and connecting to another server from far away. Now, I personally don't know too much about the company that's being partnered with the GFN Alliance tag here, but I will be putting a link down to their whole partnership and the site where you can get more info if you happen to be in Latin America. Feel free to check it out in the description below. Now, the last bit of cloud gaming news I want to share with you all is a rumor surrounding Xbox Game Pass, because it does include Xbox game streaming after all. The rumor itself originates from the Xbox Era podcast when speaking to an insider, in which the following was stated. There's a certain third-party AAA first-person shooter that is highly likely to be launching in Game Pass this fall. There aren't that many shooters that come out during fall other than Call of Duty and Battlefield. More so, not many of them would ever want to tackle on those juggernauts. As such, it has people guessing it's going to be one of those 2, but more than likely it would be Battlefield if anything, as they do already have some sort of partnership with EA. In addition to this, there are other notable names saying that this is potentially the case, or at least pointing toward that being the case. For example, Tom Henderson. This guy has been leaking a lot of Battlefield info recently and has built quite a reputation over Call of Duty leaks for the past 8 years. And he's not the only one. But if you want my honest opinion, I highly doubt the game will be available fully on day one. I can see them doing that sort of EA Play 10-hour trial thing, but to secure the full title, that would cost a ton of money. This game is a huge seller, and I have little to no doubt EA would be asking for an insane amount of money. Then again, this is Microsoft we're talking about here. Let me know your thoughts whether or not you see this ever being the case. Let me know why you're for or against the rumor. Either way, the potential of being able to play Battlefield 6 whenever it releases through a cloud gaming platform is something I'm really looking forward to and I hope happens. Whether it's through Xbox game streaming, Stadia, or GFN, I'm down to play whichever way it goes. That wraps up all the cloud gaming news I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video question is simply going to be me asking you for what game you're most excited for coming out later this year. As always, thank you for watching this video. This has been The Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest in everything cloud gaming and VR related. And until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.